Hi everybody, welcome back to NFTV, and we are proudly sponsored by One Football. Their app is the best around in terms of football, keeping you up to date with all the news, transfers. Now we are expected to have a very busy transfer window, so make sure you download the One Football app to keep up to date with all of the rumours. Download it, it's in the description, it's free. What are you waiting for?
Newcastle Fans TV.
Yep, so as you can see in the intro, everybody, we are proudly sponsored by the One Football app. Tonight's news is that the Newcastle game at Goodison Park is off. It's postponed. I found that out in the One Football app. Download it. It's in the description. It's free. Keeps you up to date and it pings your messages. That's how I found out tonight. So I've got mixed news about it. I've spent 2 hours, literally 2 hours, editing Johnny's preview, which is attached to this video towards the end, where they talk about Everton's form, Newcastle's form, the injuries and so on. So if you do want to watch it, I appreciate it if you do. But that's frustrating. I've just spent 2 hours and then finding out that the news is off. So that's knocked me. That's pissed me off. However, the positive is, I've talked about this over on my personal Twitter, is that fans shouldn't be told 2 hours before a game, going all the way down to Liverpool, which is effectively a 3-hour drive, being told whilst you're already there the game's off. That would really piss me off. More so for the Southampton one, because I'm driving to Southampton if it goes ahead. Probably not now. But that would have really pissed me off if I drove all the way to Southampton to find out, not sorry, the game's off, because they're not really looking after fans, and for once they have. And I tweeted out that, and some of you may not agree with this, I tweeted out in the Premier League don't have agenda against Newcastle United, because they don't with the fixtures. Newcastle have had a fully fit squad, which have been fortunate to play games. On the back burner, I said that later on in the season, like in January, February, March, other teams will have to play a couple of times a week, whereas Newcastle will be fresh and have one because we don't have the backlog. Now it looks like we're going to be in that mix. Now, Everton, of course, have had their own game called off with their own situation with COVID. So it's for both parties. I think it's good. It's a sensible, it's a safe option. It is very much a safe option. Newcastle we've played all the games, and then Newcastle, with squad we can't even barely put out a squad anymore, because we've had serious injuries to Ryan Fraser. Fabian Schär's got a knock. Callum Wilson looks like he's going to be out for months. And that's a real blow for her. And now the January transfer window comes, and we'll talk about that in a minute, and Alan saint-maximin a few weeks, but the Wilson one is a massive blow for her. It doesn't matter whether we don't sign a striker or we do. That is a massive blow for Newcastle, because at the end of the day, he keeps you up. Give him service, he scores goals in a weak, poor team. So that's the big one for me, Callum Wilson being injured. Saint-Maximin you can live with probably a couple of weeks. Ryan Fraser has always hit injured. Kind of get a run of games, bless him. Fabian Schär is probably not the serious one. Isaac Hayden would have been back because he's back from suspension to play Everton. But like I say, the flip side is I don't have to travel all the way down to Everton and get told down at Liverpool. So that's the positive thing for fans, because you know that we're at every single game on this channel. We're one of the very few across all of the Premier League YouTube channels that go to every game, and credit to the ones that do as well. I know Adam does as well from Newcastle. So it's a good thing in terms of the transfer window, because I expect probably the Southampton game to also be called off. Obviously I'll be keeping an eye on that. It's caused a bit of mayhem for me, because I like to be planned. I like to have my route set. I like to have my hotels done. So the Southampton one, I'm going to have to probably have a nap in my airbed in the car, if it's on, because it's last minute and prices go shoot up, especially with it being New Year. But that's the positive, that it's off early. The Everton one, hopefully we'll find out by the latest on Friday whether the Southampton game goes ahead. But look, at the end of the day, Newcastle kind of put a side out. There's a couple of COVID issues, and the Omicron variant is all over the place at the minute. It's the right option, I feel. It is the right option. All I am disappointed I won't be going to the game. But safety has to come first, and there's a lot of injuries, and it can help Newcastle. It can benefit us. Now we've got a couple of those injuries, like I mentioned, Fraser and saint-maximin, because the next time we play might be the FA Cup game. You don't know the next one, but there's pros and cons to it. But the official news tonight, the breaking news is tonight that the game is off. But there's pros and cons to it, because the transfer window could open and we could strengthen the squad before we play the next Premier League game. that's again a positive that may come out of this as well. But at least the fans, that's what I was more worried about. At least the fans have been told in advance, because I've seen some stories like Watford fans going all the way to Burnley and finding out 2 hours before kick-off. But like I say at the top of this video, I did spend 2 hours editing the preview for the Everton game. If you do want to watch it, please watch it. It's 15 minutes long. Johnny chatting about Newcastle and Everton. But here it is. Take it away, Johnny.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. But let's start with Everton. Rafa Benitez, he wasn't the chosen one, but you kind of got stuck with him. And let's just say it hasn't really gone according to plan for the former Newcastle manager so far at Goodison Park. He has picked up a couple of good performances, good results along the way. But on the whole, it's been a little bit disappointing so far, Louis.
Yeah, I mean, there was me earlier on saying, "I've got to give him time, and it's not gone to plan so far. He's had his challenges, and I think when we spoke earlier on, we were expecting a bigger transfer window, a lot more tapping than just Damari Gray and Josh Townsend coming in. Squad's been obliterated by injuries and COVID cases, but they're excuses that a lot of teams have, and it's one of the fears I had was the start of football, and I think, to be quite frank, we've been playing the worst brand of football in the league all season.
Really?
He has had injuries, but yeah, I think so. Yeah, but no disrespect to you fans, but that's the way I felt. I felt Newcastle were similar when they had them as well. I just don't think he's an entertainer. But I guess with the group of players he's got, he's trying to be pragmatic and play on the counter. But yeah, it's not pretty. I guess if he gets his own players in, maybe he can make more happen. But it started promisingly, and then the football's got worse. But when the results aren't coming along with the football, you can kind of tolerate it when you get results. But when you're not getting results, then it's just it's no good for anyone involved. It becomes quite toxic.
I was going to say November and December at Everton seem to be very, very dire, very toxic, and losing games like the Merseyside derby, you can lose to a very good Liverpool team, but I think it's the way you lose. And then the Crystal Palace game, not a million miles later, it didn't show Everton in a good light in terms of the way they were trying to play football. What can Rafa Benitez do differently, Louis, to get a little bit of pressure off his shoulders?
Win games. That would be the simple answer. But he got a good result against Arsenal. Got a good result against Chelsea. With like in the circumstances, a draw at Stamford Bridge, having to play that many players that aren't used to playing. I think something Everton fans have been banging on about since the start of the season is giving youth more of a chance, because we've got a lot of players in the squad that have quite simply just shown not good enough yet, and they're getting put in the same positions time and time again. Same results are happening. What was it? Einstein's quote, "Madness is a definition of just trying something over and over and expecting different results." And that's exactly what was happening. So at least with the youth, there's a bit of hope there. There's a bit of a chance to freshen things up, maybe a bit more desire. People trying to prove themselves. People aren't just in it to pick up a wage. He did that against Chelsea. I think that was kind of forced. I'm not sure if that was like almost like an old Mourinho moment where he's gone to the fans, fine, have the youth team in this game and see what happens against Chelsea away, or whether it was he actually believed in them. We'll never know. There's an agenda on both sides for that, so it just depends which side you want, I guess. But hopefully now they've got that result, and a few of them have proven, like Anthony Gordon seems to be getting better game by game. I think if he starts giving them a few more chances, the likes of like Ellison's played an hour against Chelsea as a target man, not getting a lot of the ball. It's his first start for Everton, I think. You wouldn't even bring him off 10 minutes against Brentford when we're chasing the game. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's like you start him in that game and you're like, okay, well, how does this come about? But hopefully you can kick on now. One thing I will say about a section of our fans, they do get on players' backs quite a bit on Twitter, especially. So it's only a small minority, but I saw a few were saying like, oh, this Ellison's just not good enough. He's League One. Why is he playing? It's like, hold on a minute. We've been playing Rondon. You've been moaning about Rondon the whole time. That you've been asking for him to get a chance. It's Chelsea away. It's European champions away. It's not exactly the easiest of fixtures, and you're moaning straight away. So there's always going to be some fans like that. Not everyone by any stretch, but I think giving youth a chance, putting a bit more energy in the team, just trying to win games on the front foot, I think, which we've not seen an awful lot of.
Solomon Rondon done extremely well at Newcastle United in that 1 year that he was on loan from West Brom, and now at Everton. Is it because maybe he's just a couple of years older, Louis? It just hasn't worked for him so far at Everton.
Well, he arrived miles off the pace as well. That's one of the ones I got the logic. I understood the logic of what he was trying to bring in. I think he was trying to bring him in as a third choice, as in if Calvert-Lewin gets the odd injury. Didn't used to get that many injuries. If Richarlison's injured, or he'll come on to see a game out or something. As it happened, he's starting 2, 3, 4 games in a row because Calvert-Lewin's out for however long. Richarlison's then injured as well. So then he's kind of unfit, playing catch up and on the back foot. And the fans like effort, and they're getting a bit of effort, but the patience is wearing thin because as a striker, he just wasn't looking like scoring. Like he wasn't even. I think it took him 3 or 4 games to have his first shot on target. He's a striker.
Yeah, that is quite fascinating to hear from a Newcastle fan point of view because he was brilliant for us. Just the last bit on Everton, Louis. Do you consider Everton in a relegation battle at the minute?
Well, the run itself's relegation form, but I think luckily there's worse teams down there. It's a dangerous trap to fall into, as you know yourself. There was a couple of times where on paper your squad was probably too good to go down. Or just 3 worst teams on paper at least, but with attitude and it can happen. But I think we'll pull away with injuries coming back. But there was the games against the likes of Brentford, which Benitez actually praises for, and Palace, where they didn't look interested, I don't think. And you said we had the ball for a while against Brentford, but they scored. They were defending the league and they sit back anyway, So we were going to have a lot of the ball. We just didn't do anything with it or look like scoring. So yeah, as long as we don't fall into that attitude of we're too good to go down and start being complacent, as if they get the basics right again, I think we'll pull clear. I still think mid-table's probably where we're going to end up at. I think maybe get 1 or 2 in January and see Calvert-Lewin back from injury and Richarlison back from injury. But I don't know, it's tough. There's a lot of bad teams now. The gap between the top and the bottom's getting bigger every year. You've got the 3 pulling away, not including Man United, and that. Well, even you've got the 2 pulling away now. It's Liverpool and Man City now, isn't it? Chelsea is starting to go for a bit of dip, but the teams around the bottom there. I won't mention yourselves, but you got like Norwich. Norwich aren't great. I don't think Brighton. There's a lot of teams down there that I think we're probably better than on paper if we get our first 11 sorted and get our attitude back. But it's a dangerous game considering we were. I mean, it was never going to last, but this time last year we were second. Here
we go.
Yeah, so No, but when you go on that kind of slump, and then a year later you continued that slump, it's quite worrying because the personnel's not changed an awful lot. Right, yeah, the manager's gone and James has gone, but he didn't play that much in the second half anyway. And then Mina's been injured, but a lot of the players are still the core group of players. Yeah, we've had Calvert-Lewin injured, but if you go back 2 or 3 years ago, Calvert-Lewin missed this many games. We weren't relying on him that much. He has improved obviously since then, but. Yeah, just need to get it sorted.
Newcastle have just come off a point against Manchester United. They've just lost the last 3 before the Manchester United game against Leicester, Liverpool, and Manchester City. It's not the easiest of run-ins. But Callum Wilson and saint-maximin both look like they're going to be out of this game on Thursday night if it goes ahead. Surely that's a big boost for Everton. And do you see Newcastle staying up if they buy right in January, Louis?
So in answer to your first one, it is a big boost, but I mean, we should be thinking like you should be going into the games thinking you win them anyway. So it's more of a loss for Newcastle and a boost for Everton in that respect. Because I think even if we had our first 11, the attitude's right at home, would expect to beat Newcastle with this group of players. I mean, but they are undoubtedly key players for us. So yeah, you'd fancy our chances more now. Then again, we've still got injuries as well, so it's not a foregone conclusion. In answer to your second question, I think it depends on the players you're signing because your manager, your owner, should probably look at what Everton did when they first got rich and not do that basically because that's where it went wrong. But the likes of players I've seen you linked to, like Trippier, he'll definitely improve you for now, and he's got good experience, and he might give you a boost and stuff. But the money you're probably going to give him, you can maybe do that for 1 or 2 players. It's not sustainable to buy these players in when you're in that position now, because if you do get relegated, if they don't gel in time, you're going to be in a QPR situation. And I think, but if you buy smart, I think if you get maybe, you probably need 2 or 3 players. I think just to get you through, and maybe 1 or 2 younger ones that have got potential that you can bring in next year, or like properly start playing next year. That I saw you link with that Dutch defender, that Botman.
Yeah,
I don't know if I pronounced that right. He seems to be good. Like he's fairly young. Lost a fair bit, but you imagine you might be able to get a bit of money for him if he does well, or keep hold of him and get your money's worth out of him. Like I think where we went wrong was we were buying players in, no sell-on value, big wages. We've still got Cenk Tosun. We're still paying his wages from the first one. After that, we're still paying. I would mention Sigurdsson for obvious reasons. We're still paying big wages for like Delph hardly plays. We're not going to make money on him. You got Mina's on big money and might make money on him. There's a lot like Iwobi's on big money. No one's going to buy him. Like it's where'd you go from there? You just stuck. So if you buy smart and buy players that actually want to go to Newcastle and you think will actually improve your team, then I think you could do. How started okay. I think if you can get the right players in for him that fits the system, it's not impossible still. But I think if you go in a trap of signing like too many players like Trippier for a lot of money, then it'll become messy, I think.
Are Evertonians jealous of Newcastle's new takeover and the fact they are the richest club in the world? Do you think down the line, Everton fans thinking, oh, why could it not have been us? Why could we have not been the one that got taken over by the Saudis?
No. No, I don't think so. No, because I think your guys have done similar to us at the start where they didn't really know what they were doing. They came in and they didn't know who they wanted as a manager for a little bit, so they kept Bruce longer than they should have been in. Well, to be fair, the old one kept Bruce in longer than he should have been in probably. But you still not got director of football, and he said straight away he wants director of football. The traditional way of doing it would be hire director of football in first, he chooses the manager, and then you've got a continuity there. I wouldn't say we're jealous. We've got money, we just can't spend it because of profit and loss. And we've got a nice stadium on the way. So I don't think we'd be jealous. I think the teams would be jealous of with the takeovers would be like Man City, where you could just before, because that came in just before Finance Fair. In fact, Finance Fair Play came in because of them pretty much, and like Chelsea and stuff, where you could do free reign. And I think if you'd have been bought by these guys at that time, then yeah, we'd absolutely be jealous. But I think now, no, because I don't think not to dampen your parade, but I don't think an awful lot changes at the moment for you guys until no, because I think the first thing you've got to do is stay up and then get the core right, and then maybe a few years down the line we'll see a difference where if we're still slumping and you're up there, we might go, that could have been us, did it right. But I think you've not even had your first transfer window with me yet, so, and it's a January one, it's a difficult one, so no, to be fair, that's probably not the answer you wanted, but not like no.
Definitely not. But let's talk about the game finally. What's your prediction, Louis? Everton versus Newcastle, Goodison Park. Everyone's going to be a bit on edge just because obviously I haven't played in the last couple of days. Don't know what sort of team Everton going to put out. Don't even know what sort of team Newcastle are going to put out. But are you confident you can get all 3 points?
Yeah, because I think Calvert-Lewin might be back for that. It's touch and go, and I think the fans will be in again. I think. Yeah, I think we can win. I think based now on the fact that Newcastle actually trying to attack teams and our defence isn't great, I think you'll score. So I think I'll go 3-1 to Everton. I think you might be a bit open because you might be going for it too much, and that might play into our hands. But I'm aware that I'll probably look silly when you win 2-0.
We'll take anything like we did last year at Goodison. 2 goals from Callum Wilson last year.
Yeah.
Probably won't be available for the game on Thursday, but Everton win 3-1, says Louis. Get in the comments below. Do you agree with Louis? Do you think Everton will win 3-1, or can Newcastle do even better than they did against Manchester United and get 3 points on the bottom and move away potentially from the bottom 3? Big thanks to Louis for all his Everton insights for this game on Thursday, and we'll see you all on Thursday night.